Hi, my name is Dr Alikhani. I am Dean and Professor at CTOR Academy, and I'd like to welcome you to another session of CTOR channel. As part of the Biology in Orthodontics series, I would like to share the result of the interesting study that was conducted with our group. Based on our study, the occlusal forces that produced by oral cavity play a significant role in the architecture of the nasal cavity. That emphasize the importance of proper orthodontics treatment in the overall health of our patients. Our study was published in the Journal of the European Society of Medicine. You can read this article by clicking in the link below. As you know, the nasal septum is composed of cartilage and bone. At the beginning of the life, the nasal septum is mostly cartilage, but gradually goes through ossification, and specifically the posterior part of the septum is gradually replaced by bone. But why? And what are the factors that control the magnitude of ossification of the nasal septum? Today, we are going to concentrate on this question and possible answer. Our study suggests that the nasal septum has an important biomechanical role in our skull, and the extent of the cartilage versus bony part of the septum is partially due to the difference in the function of incisors in comparison with posterior teeth. Incisors are designed mostly for cutting, while posterior teeth are designed for chewing. For incisors to be efficient at cutting, they are located far from the hinge axis of the jaw, resulting in a higher acceleration during biting. This high acceleration produced by anterior teeth can produce a very high impact forces. And if you pay attention to the maxillary structure is mostly a cantilever. And now if you apply a very high impact forces in front of this cantilever, you can produce large moments, and those large moments can actually fracture the jaw. Therefore, there should be some sort of a protection system designed in the area. These forces also can transfer to the base of the skull, which can be again very dangerous. Incisors are located in the midline structure of the skull, while the molars are bilaterally located. Having a cartilage above the incisors can act as a shock absorbent and protect the maxilla and the cranial base from excessive trauma that may apply to it. So this particular property of the nasal septum cartilage can be related to its viscoelastic properties that can absorb high magnitude forces that are applied rapidly over a very short period of time. But as I said before, posterior teeth are mostly designed for chewing, which include mostly high magnitude forces, but with the low acceleration that deliver over a longer period of time. Therefore, a bony structure in the posterior area of the nasal septum is required to produce a proper support for this function. So it is not surprising if you look at the nasal septal cartilage, you will see the closer to the molar this structure is mostly bony, the closer to the incisor this structure is mostly cartilage. So based on this information, one would be expecting that the magnitude of the ossification or bony part of the nasal septum in compared with the cartilaginous part of the nasal septum should be different in the different human, because they have a different magnitude of the incisor force or molar force. For example, our study shows that the patient with severe deep bite through their life, their nasal septum is continued to be more cartilaginous and extended further posteriorly. On the other hand, patients that have open bite during their life, they demonstrate larger area of ossification of nasal septal cartilage, and the more that open bite is extended backward, including only, for example, second molar, the larger the ossification area. Interestingly, the gender and sagittal relationship of the jaw did not significantly affect the magnitude of ossification. So nasal and oral cavities significantly affect each other, and we should not examine one without paying attention to the other. And if you have a developmental problem in one area, definitely that will affect the function and form of the other area. Therefore, I really suggest that the orthodontists need to work very closely with ENTs to be able to provide the proper health for their patient. I hope you enjoyed this session of CTOR channel. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and please don't forget to press the like button. Thank you.